Okay, let me preface this by saying that I use a GoPro Hero 4 Silver for everything that I do in terms of vlogging. So I don't have a digital SLR. I don't have any other cameras. I don't use my phone. So this is my primary camera. So with that being said, I'm giving you just my feedback on GoPro in general. Not to say that, I mean, I love my GoPro, but there are some things that I don't like about it. So that's not trying to discourage you from getting one, because I think that the sheer size of them and how you can put a GoPro in your pocket, and with a digital SLR, you know, something big, bulky and heavy, they shoot absolutely incredible. If you look at some of the top YouTube vloggers, I'm sure that's what they have. But I'm not that. I don't really aspire to be that. I just want to shoot some stuff so that I can look back over a year and say, you know, look at what you've done, and look, you know, just kind of take back and show my family little things. So that's the only reason I started kind of doing this. So, but without further ado, I kind of will just enlighten you on what things I think are annoying to me, or the dislikes that I have about GoPro. So let's get into it. But again, I love my GoPro. I just think that there's a few things that annoy me about it, and that's kind of just what I want to express. And maybe these things can be overlooked for you, because certainly they have been for me, and there have been workaround. Number one, onboard microphone. So the onboard microphone on GoPros are, let's face it, it sucks. It's not that good. You put a waterproof casing around it, or any other thing which you really want to protect your GoPro itself, then the audio quality is just, it's crap. And again, if you look at some of the vloggers out there, they all have, you know, like a Rode mic or some type of different microphone. I chose the remover, which is this piece here. It's a great microphone, and it connects to the back of the GoPro, which is pretty good. I like it. The audio quality sounds incredible. The only thing is, like, if I turn away from you, then the Bluetooth connection can kind of mess up. So I don't really care for the audio for GoPro. Number two, the battery life. Battery life on GoPros are ridiculous. So you will need to buy, I mean, there's different brands. I think there's one called Wasabi or something like that. You can look and purchase that for a lot less than this. I think this one is somewhere around $30 to $40. I can't remember exactly, but the Wasabi brand is somewhere around 20. And certainly they do the exact same thing. Sometimes I get myself into a little bit of trouble because I want to say GoPro brand loyal. Just in terms of, I'm always thinking in terms of resale value. If I'm done with my GoPro, I want to sell everything, I have a better chance of saying, you know, I have a GoPro, you know, battery pack to go with my, you know, the GoPro batteries. Just futuristic thinking. But again, the battery life, absolutely horrible. You probably get 30 minutes of footage, depending on what you're filming, how, if you're in what quality you're shooting. Typically I shoot everything at 1080p and at 60 frames per second. My battery life does not last very long, and I think this, you know, I can do time lapse in 4K. So once you start doing a little bit more of that, and depending on like the depth and all these things start to matter. I'm not a photographer, so I can't tell you the true details, but I just know that the battery life, if you're just shooting, only lasts about 30 minutes, and then I'm popping in another battery, or I'm using a substitute charger, or whatever the case may be, to keep it going. So that's another thing that I don't really care for, is the battery life. Number three, the zoom, or lack thereof. I typically wish that GoPros had the ability to zoom. I know it's an action camera. I know the primary basis. Sometimes you just wish that you could, I mean, our cell phones can zoom, and you know, people are like, well, it's not intended to. But if you think about it, like, your cell phone is intended for you, it was originally intended for you to make calls, and then it became something for you to text, and then it became something that had apps, and then it became something for your email, or kind of email, then maybe apps. But cell phones are like computers now. So GoPro can evolve a little bit and do a little bit more in terms, just for me personally. Again, these are my opinions. I love my GoPro, but at the same time, I wish these features were here. So the ability to zoom would be nice, to capture some things that are further in the distance. Like the one time early in my vlog, I had a celebrity sighting, and clear as day, my eyes could see that it was Chris Brown in this car, and it's a very unique car. No one's driving around the San Fernando Valley in this red Jeep with red rims and hiked up, and no one has that car. And so I know for a fact that I saw him, but then when I tried to shoot it on the GoPro could only capture the car, and it couldn't validate that it was Chris Brown in the car. Not a big problem, it doesn't matter, but I was trying to say, hey, there goes Chris Brown, and it wouldn't pick up. So if I could have just zoomed in just a little bit, maybe, I think from where I was sitting outside in the restaurant to where his car was on the street, it couldn't have been any more than like 15 feet. So that would have been kind of nice. GoPros require accessories. Your GoPro in its natural state sucks. Let's face it. It is not that great of a, I don't know, it's just not that great. I mean, you begin, like right now, what I have it's called a Jobly, and it's like you've seen these things. They're like, it looks like it's a tripod, but it kind of wraps around whatever you're on. So I have that in this bag. I have so many accessories. From the remote from your arm, the 3-way that you hold for the pole, again, the microphone, lights that you have to attach for low light. I have so much stuff in this bag. That's why I end up getting this bag, because it could hold a lot of stuff. I have a kitchen timer that I put on there for my time lapse. All this makes for good footage, and I just think your GoPro comes with a waterproof case, the GoPro itself, and a few mounts, but that's not going to sustain you. You want to take your GoPro and do more action-oriented things, and from there, I've spent more money on my accessories than I have on the actual GoPro. So you can kind of see, like, a GoPro. So I think in total, I'm going to be somewhere in the very near future about $1,000 in, you know, with the GoPro and the accessories. Maybe I'm already there, because this bag is like $170. So there you have it. So I'm $1,000 in between accessories and GoPro, and yeah, something that I don't really care for. I think they could have included a few more things, especially with the high price tag. But I mean, that's everything these days. So just a dislike, not the end of the world. Last thing for my top 5. Low light performance. That didn't go as planned. Let's try that again. Perfect. GoPros in low light situations suck. So I got this light that, I don't want to blind you. I kind of pointed over here, but it has different functions or features to give you different lighting settings. So as you can kind of see, but the point is, and this brand is Quados. I always mess up the name. So there you have it. Nevertheless, I had to purchase this because at night, GoPros just don't perform very well. And I'm sure that's probably, well, I can't say that's every camera, because again, the cell phone, the S7, has some capability to do better in low light. So maybe I'm giving GoPro a lot of flack. I'm not trying to. I love this camera. It has done every bit of the footage that I do for all the little vlogs that I do. So I swear by it. I enjoy it. But again, I just think that the low light situation on it, I recently had a family reunion, and I was recording kind of with this thing included at night, and even the footage at that point was so dark, you know, it just really didn't capture very much of anything. If you weren't directly in the light of this thing, then it wouldn't work whatsoever. So again, these are just my personal observations for the things that I've recognized over the course of, using this thing for the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. I love it. I love my GoPro, but there's also things that I dislike. So comment, let me know your feedback. Keep it positive. I mean, essentially, I know there's going to be, you know, things that you probably don't like about GoPro as well, but at the same time, I mean, it's not meant to do everything, but there are some improvements that you wish that could be done on maybe the next series of GoPro. So there's my top 5.